Yeah, did you see that the Dalai Lama is kicking up a fuss?
No. What about?
The Shugden monks. He's telling that everybody that they have to avoid them. They cannot have them in their stores. They cannot, he's really put up a thing against them. And it's another branch of the Tibetan things, like the one that Dalai Lama belongs to is one branch, and then there's another branch. It's kind of like Christian churches have, Protestant and, Baptist and stuff. It's basically like that, a division in the Tibetan thing.
Okay, they're clashing amongst themselves,
Clashing amongst themselves, and the Dalai Lama is really going out against these people and making their life miserable, and some people are in fear for their lives and stuff. He's saying that the Shugden thing is demonic.
Oh.
And yet they do the same prayers as that the rest of the Tibetans are doing. Same thing, they have the, and this is it. Then some of them are coming out and saying, well, the Dalai Lama is not, this high person that he's claiming, which I've always said he's not enlightened. If he were, he couldn't, he couldn't sustain and continue with giving the nuns less than the monks are getting, but there is still that disparity there.
Yeah.
And I don't care what they want to say, the Tibetan, and they want to say the Tibetan is such this pure form of Buddhism, but it's not. It's the Tibetan Buddhism comes out of Buddhism and the blend of bone traditions, which are the shamanic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And the Dalai Lama consults an oracle, which is somebody that's possessed by this spirit.
You also
no enlightened being is going to consult somebody that's possessed by a spirit that's going to tell you the future and all this other drama. Absolutely not. And the Dalai Lama, like I've said before, he was raised to be a statesman. He's very political. Very political. And rather than accepting, all of their tradition has said that, this was going to happen, the Buddhism was going to, leave there, that land, and, all of these things were going to take place, and rather than being accepting of it, it's very, wants to fight against the China thing, and now he wants to fight against the, the other monks. And their big thing for fighting against it was, see, this one guy was killed by this Shugden thing. Well, that's like saying, well, one of their monks was killed by somebody, so it makes all the rest of them bad.
Oh, right.
That's the big justification. This one was killed, and, one monk went to China. He's got friends in China. Therefore, it's a big Chinese conspiracy, and just such drama and nonsense. But all of the Tibetan, whether it's the Shugden or whether it's the, which is there are a number of different branches of Tibetan Buddhism, and they all, every one of them stemmed of a blend from Buddhism and the Tibetan, what was there before, the bone traditions or the shamanic. So they are not pure Buddhism by any means. And fortune tellers and the, oracles and all this other drama. And if you've ever seen a thing of one of these oracles, oh my God.
And didn't the Dalai Lama had said he had heard that the mind can go quiet?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You heard that it can happen.
I've heard that it can. Of course, I can't, I have no way that I can even conceive of that. So is he realized? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. He's never had the time to really sit and do the practices. He's been trained since a young age to be a statesman. He's been trained in the conditionings of that lineage. So it's like infighting, but it's nasty. It's very nasty, and like I said, they're absolutely shunning these ones and saying they're evil, they're demonic, they're this, they're that, and it's really not good. Really causing a schism and problems up there. There will be many more problems for many of these monks. They don't like that deity protector, but yet, all of them have some sort of like a deity protector, that they're praying to, that's supposed to, protect the lineages, etc. So nothing is being different about that lineage as the lineage that the Dalai Lama is in. It's like a factional war between these lineages. And the Dalai Lama has come out really strong against these people. Even to the fact that they're putting some of these monks' pictures up, when they go to get food or whatever, and they won't let them in the stores. Because, oh no, we've told the Dalai Lama, you're demonic, we'll have nothing to do with you.
I guess all the religions do this. Many of them, they amongst themselves, they have the different sects that fight to different.
Well, where is this ocean of great compassion?
Yeah.
Great ocean of compassion, and this is Buddhism. And they do, like I said, they do the same types of prayers, they do the same types of practices. And they're all in the Bon tradition as well, and both of them, the Dalai Lama and the other ones, have an oracle. And if people don't know about this and the oracle and all this other drama that goes on, and they think, you watch some of these videos, which I've seen before, where some of the monks were trying to say, oh, this is such the pure thing of Buddhism. We're the only ones that have the, information about Kundalini. We're the only ones that have. Well, it's not true. They're not the only ones that have, information about Kundalini journey, what it is, and all of these other things. Absolutely not. And all of the conditionings they have, that they develop, but we have to visualize this and visualize that, and all of this drama, eventually all of that has to be cut through. When you get to the highest teachings, it's to cut all that drama that they've been all these years putting into place. That's the truth of it. All the visualizations and all of these things and all this other stuff they put into place has to be cut. That's the end point. Is to cut through all the drama that they've spent years on putting into place. The highest teachings are to cut through that. So, another sad state of affairs that's going on, under the name of religion.
Too bad it's coming from the Dalai Lama.
Well, some people are waking up to the fact that he's not, he is not the reincarnated Buddha. He is not Chen Razik. He is not this big thing of compassion. And the ones in that tradition were following him as well, that he was this great ocean of compassion and everything, and were honoring him and all of that. And now it's like,
Oh my God.
Yeah. He's become very politicized about it and really creating a division in the, in the Tibetan community. So yeah, it's a sad thing. But hopefully some people will wake up.
This just came out on international news today.
I think it's it's just more coming to be known what's out there. More and more people are speaking up about it and stuff. Yep. So it's just more of the same nonsense out there. There's a lot of nonsense out there being done in the name of religion, and that's a sad one.
That's too bad. Yeah. Although there's a lot worse than that.
But I mean, this could get nasty. This could get really nasty. Because a lot of them are living all in the same area up there in Dharamsala, and
The two factions live right there in Dharamsala.
Mm-hmm. Ooh. Well, one older lady left where she was living. She was the only one in this one village, and she was scared for her life. I mean, And so these ones are saying, oh, well, the Shugden, somebody from there killed this one Lama. Well, she's in fear for her life. What does this say? That both sides. You can get somebody from either side that is going to create some atrocity. So that means you're going to blame everyone for it?
Yeah, right.
So yeah, again, another,
Another day, another drama.
Another day, another drama. Yeah. So some of the ones that are debating now, they do the debates every day up there, and some of the debating is getting a little bit, debating what the Dalai Lama is doing,
That's their. I thought they were doing scripture debates.
Well, this is another point of something that they're kind of starting to debate now and kind of look at.
Their formal debate structure.
Yeah. So anyway, we hope that, that all of this drama gets cut through. I don't care what the spiritual path is, when you build up all these belief systems and everything, the end point is one has to deconstruct it and break through it, no matter what it is. And build up a conditioned belief system with, all of these things, and okay, it helps for a time, for something to cling to, but eventually then all of that has to go. But my point has always been that, like I said, the Dalai Lama has said that absolutely he's heard that there are a few that the mind can actually still. Of course, his can't. He said, I can't even, Mind is always going, that it's not, well, then it's not, he's not a realized being by his own words. When he says he's a simple monk, that's what he means. He's not being modest. He's been trained, like I said, as a statesman. He's had official duties for most of his life that he's been trained to do. He has not had all the time for really a lot of, practice to sit there and really to go into the heart and the really depths of all the practice. He's had all the official duties to do, and he's learned to do the official duties. Okay. Because like I said, that there's no way you can be enlightened and then still allow that the monks, get so much more than the nuns do. The nuns don't get the same teachings. They don't get the same, help. They don't get all the funds that the men get. They get very, very limited. Very, very limited. And there's still this cognition, well, maybe you'll be born next lifetime as a man and you'll be able to, this is no way as an enlightened being that one could sit there and allow this drama to continue in these belief systems that have been put into place erroneously. Okay, the men have had more opportunity because they just leave home and leave the kids with the women to sort out. Okay? They've abdicated their responsibilities and gone off to seek enlightenment. So does this mean that women are less capable? No. Absolutely not. The absolute in the end is not male, it's not female. And I don't care what you got hanging between your legs, it doesn't make it better.
That's true.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Unless you got this plumbing or that plumbing, all of a sudden it's better? Ridiculous. Absolute nonsense.
Totally.
Mind is mind. Whether in a male body, whether in a female body, mind is mind, and the path is the same. And because men get tempted and they can't keep it in their pants, they want to put the women, it's their fault. Whose fault is it? You're ridiculous. Ridiculous. There's been such this misogyny in this, in the spiritual paths for so long. Then you get the drama that swings in the other direction. Oh, goddess worship, and then it's, the female thing, and then they go to swing the other direction. And it's both nonsense. It's both nonsense. Either direction, whether male-oriented or whether female-oriented, and this one's higher and this one's lower, neither of it projection is correct. Neither projection is correct. When all this, when all falls away, then one sees that consciousness, it's not male, it's not female. That absolute is without gender. It's without body, without form, without gender. So, there really needs to be a wake-up call. And another leap forward in the realm of spirituality and the realm of going within and doing the practices. It's not easier for males, it's not easier for females. It's the same no matter which body one is contained in. That outer package has nothing to do with it. Absolute ridiculous. And so again, it's time for another shift, to take place. Hopefully this shift comes to center rather than,
Yeah, there's a lot of religions that get into this gender-specific things. And, many different religions.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In the lower tantras, it's all about, female worship and this and that, and, female goddess, and then other ones, it's on the male end, and it's neither one is accurate. And so it just causes more division again. The very thing they're trying to, go beyond. Got little Raj just sitting here looking, staring up again.
He gets so much darshan.
Yes, he does. It's my little darshan hound. But sometimes he's so sweet. He just looks up and just melts, and those little eyes just looks up and just, absolute gives you the most loving look. Absolute pure love.
You can't really see him on the video.
No, you can't see him. He's so dark you can't see him. Yeah, but I just hope that, this comes to a peaceful resolution and, moves forward for people.
Mm. They do have a history of clashing, don't they?
Who?
The Buddhists, the different sects, they have some kind of history of clashing, I think.
Yeah, they have some, different things about, and some of the other ones too, that they're having some debate about who's the lineage holder. Within a couple of the different factions. In some of the Buddhist sects too, some of them are more intellectual and some of them are more practice oriented, and they have a lot of different division things in that as well. But yeah. But yeah, I'll look and see if I can ever find something on, so you can see this oracle thing.
Yeah, that sounds wild.
Well, if you see it, you'd just be appalled.
So the Dalai Lama
consults the oracle. Oh yeah, absolutely. The Dalai Lama consults the oracle, and the oracle becomes possessed by this thing and speaks. Can you imagine Buddha having to consult an oracle? No realized being is going to consult an oracle. For what?
I've got an article right here.
Got an article on what?
Dalai Lama consulting spirits and other superstitions.
Oh yeah, that's been the whole time.
He calls it supernatural counsels.
Yeah, well, what supernatural counsels need to be there with realization?
Right.
When all that conditioning drama is blown out and one rests within that, absolute is and truth, then what needs to be consulted with an oracle? People don't get that. I mean, that's just, point blank simple. You need to have a possessed person speak, and this is what you're taking as valid? Unbelievable. Truth is stranger than fiction. And I ain't making this crap up. This is, absolute gospel truth of what's there. And this is what people are, putting on this high pedestal, This guy that's, going to these oracles, possessed guys that are, falling here and all over. And I mean, just, if you've ever seen it, you'd be like, yeah. So anyway, I'll look and see if I can find anything on the oracle. But yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't have known the difference in the old path because, there were all kinds of consultations with astrologers going on anyway from, the Maharishi and all that. So I wouldn't have known the difference. Now it just becomes the pointings give the clear picture about the situation.
Well, it's, like I said, there's so much nonsense and drama and things that are being brought into this stuff that just really is occluding, and, it's amazing. And what people will put on a pedestal and what they will, it's amazing.
Well, that's totally amazing. All you have to do is look good and sound good and sound holy and look like you're in bliss, and that's it.
And speak with a soft voice.
Yeah. and funny too, and clever. Or speak.
Just like talk inundated. With a soft voice. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or talk like you're completely inundated in bliss. Hello. That's how
bliss is fine, and I've been in those big states of bliss that's lasted for years, and it is like a big drug, and one wanders around loopy and ungrounded, and and thinks that it's so high because it's all love and bliss and oneness, and we are the world. We are the children, and one goes off on all of that stuff. But it's not realization. It doesn't take one off the wheel of karma. Absolutely not. Doesn't mean that when one all deconstructs, it's not blissful. It is, but it's not that type of drunken projection outwards of that clinginess and that other, and and embrace all of this, and no, there's nothing to embrace. It is, simply is, and that's such a vast change. It's such a vast openness, compared to what that is. So anyway, I'll look and see if I can find this thing, if I can find it where it does show the oracle.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see.
Because it's, yeah, I've seen it, you know, I've seen it before, and it's just, like I said, it's crazy stuff. I just put it that way. So anyway, namaste. We'll talk with you soon.